So I just so happened to be at the school that Scott visited on Monday for his Weather Whiz Kids, Siena Elementary in Meridian. I was doing some reading to a number of kids over there today, and I was approached by one of the Weather Whiz Kids, Scott, who suggested that he was pretty upset because he hadn't been shown yet, and did I know, was he going to be on TV tonight? And I said, I don't know. So I'm hoping you have one of our friends on TV asking a question.
Well, barring any technical glitches, yes, you saved the best for last, right?
Oh, that I think will save you,
So,
yes.
Carter, ask your question.
Hi, my name is Carter and I go to Siena Elementary, and my question is, how fast is the wind blowing?
Hi, my name is Molly and I go to Siena Elementary School, and my question is, do you use a wind vane at all?
All right, great questions, both about wind, and so yes, indeed, let's talk about it. Now, Carter asked we'll talk about the wind speed question. I want to talk about the wind vane first because we use a wind vane to measure wind direction. Now, many of you have seen an old-style wind vane or weather vane. Both mean the same thing. And you see the north, south, east, and west here. And when the arrow points between north and west, it's pointing to the northwest, and that's where the wind is coming from. So when we talk about a northwest wind 10 to 15, that's wind blowing from the northwest to the southeast, and so we say it that way. Now that's what a wind vane typically looks like, has looked like, and you can see some of those. But when you look at a weather station now, one of those electronic weather stations you might have at somebody's house, or you see them up or by the roadsides as well, you see this wind vane right here, and that's doing the same thing. It's pointing into the wind and telling you which way the wind is coming from. You see them like this. You see them with the wires around as well. When you see the little three-cup thing spinning, that's the anemometer that tells the wind speed. And so, talking about wind speeds, Carter asked, how fast is the wind blowing? Right now, it's not blowing all that much, but we are going to go towards Saturday night. And I might have to update the timing on my forecast now. Latest chart is showing about 11 o'clock for that front to come through, maybe 10:30, quarter to 11. If the timing stays that way, we'll get those gusty winds. And so, Carter, it's important to know the wind speeds, and you can see it right in here. These numbers representing those wind speeds, some of the heavier wind speeds here in the Uwaihi Mountains as well. We may get some strong wind speeds. But Carter had also mentioned when we were in school about how fast can the winds blow in Idaho? What can we expect? Well, typically we get our strongest winds when we have severe weather around, because the wind above the ground in the jet stream is blowing very strong, 150 miles an hour at times, and if we can find some way to get some of that wind to actually be sent down to the ground, we get those stronger winds. One way is a microburst. That's when a thunderstorm rises, and then as it collapses, it can shoot a huge blast of wind, and that can go over 100 miles an hour. Plus, when you look at the records, there's been a couple of EF2 tornadoes reported in Idaho. When you look at the scale here, winds can go as high as 137 miles an hour. So I guess you would just say, what's the strongest winds we could have? In a storm, it could be as high as 137 miles an hour. And there have been some peak wind gusts and some mountaintops and some storms blowing that much wind. So there you go. We've got Carter's information in there, and we do use wind vanes. Got to know which way the wind's coming from.
Molly's going to want to put a wind vane up on our house, I think, now.
Did you say the wind vane can spin around?
Well, it'll spin around. Well, no, when you see the little, you know, the ones that have little scoops on them.
because I was going to say, if it was spinning around, you should go hide.
Yeah, that's the sign of a tornado.
That's the EF2 coming.
Right, I think so.
Thank you, Scott.
Thanks, Scott. Well,